wide.
Hello everyone, I'm TG and I'm here to talk to you about this amazing game, Aliens Fireteam Elite. Today I'm looking at the Demolisher class, the mighty weapon of war, the mighty weapon of friendly fire, but we're not going to talk about that. This build focuses on crowd control, crowd control, crowd control. It's all about pushing the enemies back, stunning them, and allowing you and your teammates to unleash hell all over them. Not only will I be showing you guys the build, but I'm also going to be showing you guys the weapons that I'm using. I am, however, not going to talk about my attachments or my scopes because really that's all up to your playstyle and what feels right for you. So let's dive right in. So first and foremost, let's look at the micro rockets. So you launch 3 rockets that detonate on impact, creating a large shockwave that damages and stumbles your foes. So this is basically your long range CC, but you can also use this as short range to get a little bit more time to take down those heavies. Now I am modifying this. I'm using concussive rockets, which now fires 4 concussive rockets that deal a lot less damage, but they have a bigger radius and it knocks all the enemies down. And finally, Fire and Forget, which causes your rockets to now debilitate enemies, causing them to take 25% more damage from AoE and bleed for 8% of their total health. This is going to pair quite nicely with any ranged AoE heavy attack, like the grenade launcher or the rocket launcher. Moving on to the most important skill in the Demolisher's arsenal is the Blast Wave. So you're going to unleash a concussive blast around you, damaging enemies and knocking them away from you. But wait, there's more. We've got all kinds of fun stuff to increase our Blast Wave's potency. First, there's Assault and Battery. This is going to cause every enemy you hit with your Blast Wave to reduce its cooldown by 10%. And that means if you're playing a horde and you're surrounded by 10 or more Xenomorphs, you use this and you can instantly use it again. That means back-to-back Blast Waves. Next, we're going to be using Bigger and Better, and that just increases the radius of Blast Wave by 40%. And then there's Dazed and Confused, which causes enemies to be dazed whenever you hit them with Blast Wave, decreasing their movement speed and damage by 20% for 10 seconds. And finally, we're using Enhanced Range 2, which is going to increase our radius another 13%, bringing that to a total of 53%. Next, let's talk about Clear the Room, and it seems a little complicated, but it's really not. Every time you use an ability, you get 1 stack of Clear the Room, and an additional stack every time you hit an enemy. Each stack will increase your gun damage by 2.5% and it lasts 15 seconds. And every time you get new stacks from using an ability, the previous stacks are gone. On top of that, I'm using Quick and Dirty and Armed and Dangerous, which causes Clear the Room to also increase your ability damage, as well as whenever it expires, your ability cooldowns are reduced by 1 second for each stack that you lost. And the last tree that I'm using is the Demolisher Heavy Training, Mastery, and Expertise. So using all 3 of these, your maximum ammo is increased by 20% for heavy weapons, and your reload speed, radius, fire rate, and stability are all increased by 15%, and your damage is increased by a flat 10%. Finally, to finish off our grid, we're using Rough and Tumble, which causes area of effect damage to do 50% less to you, which means those spitters will not be a problem, and you can just focus on taking down the enemies. Lastly, we're using Down and Out, which causes you to deal 20% more damage to enemies that are stunned or knocked down. So that means every time you hit them with your micro rockets or your Blast Wave, you're doing 20% more damage. So as you can see, not only is the Demolisher great at doing damage, he is also a stun lock god. There have been many a times where a sneaky little Praetorian thought he could get the best of me, but no. Me and my team hosed his ass down and he couldn't do anything because he was just in stun after stun after stun. This build is great for Horde, it excels there, but you can also use it in the campaign and you'll do just as well. Finally, let's take a look at the weapons I'm using. I have the M4 1A2 automatic pulse rifle. Now this is the starter gun, but don't let that fool you. It is one of the most powerful guns in the game. That's the great thing about Aliens is all the weapons are pretty damn viable. The pulse rifle specifically is stable, powerful, and it fires quite quickly, so it's a pretty good all-arounder whenever you're not using your heavy weapon. Speaking of heavy weapons, this one's pretty situational. Personally, overall, I like the single-shot M94 impact grenade launcher, but depending on what you're playing and how good you are with the flamethrower, it's really up to you. The impact grenade launcher has a fast rate of fire, a quick reload, and it does huge amounts of damage in an AoE, which is helpful because a lot of your skills are affected by AoE in your perk grid, so it's always good to be using a weapon that benefits from that. So that's the build. I hope you guys try it out, and I hope it helps you out just a little bit. And remember, if you guys love Aliens Fireteam Elite, don't forget to tune into the channel for live streams and more builds down the road. And as always, I'm TG. If you like what you saw, you know what to do.